And then I told the guy, you know what I told him? I told him, all right, what's going on, man? It's your boy, Gregory Cooper and I'm back with another video, man. Look, if I'm not starting somewhere, I'm not going nowhere. All right, let me just say this before I really get into this video. There is some loud ass birds. I'm talking loud as hell. So if you hear a little tweaker, like if you hear that through the video, my bad, I can't control the birds, man. But this is gonna be another segment of Kloth Talk. Again, this is basically where I just take the headline articles, some complex, hype beats, and I just give my thoughts and opinion about what's going on in the culture revolving around fashion and sneakers. But let me just add this one little caveat. It is currently 3:57. I just got back in Texas. As y'all know, if y'all follow me on Instagram, I went back home for the holidays. I went for a whole week back home, so it was just a week of festivities. It was just a week of eating. It was just a week of catching up with folks that I haven't seen in a year plus. And that video will be dropping sometime soon whenever I, condense it all. But I just wanted to say that because I literally only have 3 hours. If you're watching this at 7 p.m. like I typically drop my videos, that means I edit this video in 3 hours and it was able to go live same day. So I think that deserves a comment below. Say, hey, congrats, Kloth, like something like that maybe, just to, show some appreciation, yeah. And also, I will be changing it up this time. Typically, I do 5 articles. I'm just gonna do 3 just so I can make sure I get it out. Stay consistent with the streak because I have been posting weekly now for like 4 months straight. I haven't slipped up, so I gotta stay the course. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start the video. Y'all know I don't like to waste your time, so let's get into the first article. All right, so this article title reads, Stussy and Birkenstock reveal the cozy Solana sandal. Okay. Because I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating, but I'll just say this off rip. I do not like that Kyoto style Birkenstock. And that's kind of what this one's kind of based off of. And it also has the fur. Another thing that I just really don't care to have on a shoe like the Kyoto. I would have preferred it just be the Kyoto without that. But I get they're trying to go for like the indoor and like the outdoorsy vibe too. So you can kind of like dual wear them, but it just, I am not a fan. I just don't like the shoe, let's say that. But Birkenstocks and Stussy have had a good reputation, so I don't think this necessarily tarnishes their relationship because they did the the pink pair, like that tan pair, that gray pair. Like Stussy has had a pretty good run with Birkenstocks, but it's just not these ones. And I get it because maybe everyone doesn't like the Boston. Maybe everyone doesn't like the Arizona. So they're trying to reach every single person that likes maybe different versions of the Birkenstock, but I feel like they could have just went a different route and this one would have been like a hit because I don't think anyone yet has done anything with Birkenstock super Birky. And I can definitely see Stussy being the one to really make that staple super Birky. Like I feel like the whole mule thing, like ALD, Birkenstock, and a bunch of other companies that were doing mules when they were super big. Like, I don't think anyone did anything with the super Birky, and I feel like Stussy is one of those brands. They do like a snakeskin one. They do like a, maybe a military one. Like expanding on the super Birky would have been the perfect thing for them to do. I feel like that would have been like the next little thing after the Bostons because as y'all know, maybe like 2 years ago, or was that last year? Last year when the Bostons like just went crazy because of some TikTok and like company-wide Birkenstock sold out. A lot of different other retailers sold out of other Bostons. Like that was the perfect time to do those. And I feel like the Birky had it got a lot of attention. Had the super Birky had the hype and the traction that the Boston got, but with like collabs, I think they could have definitely been a little bit more popular because I think honestly, them not doing any collabs or any like crazy colorways with the Super Birky, put it behind the ALD, and honestly put it behind maybe some other mule company that I can't think of off the top of my head. I'm still in vacation mode, so my brain is kind of everywhere. But again, not really a big fan of these, and I don't really see a lot of people buying these because I don't see people out in public with Kyotos. Like I see Bostons and Arizonas. Those are like the two main things from Birkenstocks. Like that's their bread and butter. But I know people do wear it, so you know, I don't know. Like it may be, like if you want a Stussy Birkenstock collab shoe in your closet, this is the one that you're probably gonna be able to get your hands on just because I don't see these selling out as fast as the Bostons. So I think if you want these and you like them, you're gonna have a good shot at getting these, but they're not gonna have any resale value per se. I don't think people are gonna be hiking these up like they did the Bostons where they're tagging on like another $60 or $70 to the shoe. So again, not my cup of tea, but it's not terrible. Like, it's still very on brand with Stussy. It's still very much like a clean and like on track with what's currently trending. It's just the silhouette itself is not really like the most popular one. So yeah, I'm interested to see though how they do. I want to see if I start seeing people actually wear these on my Explore page or like see people wearing them on my feed, I would be surprised as hell if I see people buying these and they sell out quick. Like I'll really be really surprised. But they might just because it's Stussy, and they might just because like it's Birkenstocks. So I mean, I can say that, but I think that regardless, they're gonna sell, but I don't think they're gonna sell out like, you know, in a blink of an eye, like how the Arizonas or the Bostons did. But again, we will see. But let's get into the next article. All right, so this article title reads, take a look at the upcoming Wales Bonner and Adidas Samba collection. All right, so this is one of those articles, bro, like it's already come out. Like these shoes are already released. People already got them on. People already wearing them, styling them, you know, yada, yada. Like the shoes already came out. So I knew I still wanted to talk about it because when a collab shoe, something like the Wales Bonner and Samba collection continues to go on, I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, how long until it's burnt into the ground? How long is it until it gets the Jordan 1 treatment? How long is it until it gets like the protection pack from New Balance treatment? Like how long is it until it reaches a point where people just really don't care? Like people still care because people are still getting them and like they're selling out very fast. Like I think this is maybe like their 4th or like 5th time maybe dropping a Samba collection with Wales Bonner. But I'm just like, at what point is it gonna get to? Because I feel like it's nearing that point when people are just like, okay, I already have like 4 colorways of these. I don't really care to get another one. Like, you know, when the protection pack came out, people was crazy about those, the white, the gray, and the black pair. People was buying those no matter if they didn't want the black or the gray, they was just buying whichever one they can. And now the protection pack then dropped like 5, 6, 7 different like collections. And it's like, I really don't care anymore. Like they just look, and I don't know if that's like a personal thing for me because like, is it because they're doing it so often that it loses its value, or is it because like once you start seeing it, so like, I don't know, like, you know, like in GTA when you are looking for a very specific car on the street and you don't see it, but then as soon as you find it, now you see it, like everyone's driving it on the street. It's kind of like that, I guess. Like I just feel like once I start seeing things too much, I really get over it really fast. Like I'm just like, now I don't really care to keep these. And again, that may be bad and toxic as far as like sneaker and like, you know, the way sneakers are evolving and how many people are getting involved with the sneaker culture. Like that may be a toxic mindset, but like I just feel like it's nearing that point where the collection itself is kind of losing its value. So like when I look at it, like there's like 2 that's on this 4 that I really like. So obviously I like the one with the pony hair and the one that like has like the cow print like texture to it. Like those 2 are very strong for me, very strong, because one, they changed the texture. I don't think they've done that yet so far. I think they've pretty much stayed within the bounds of like Samba and like keeping it very true to the keeping it true to the very old traditional way of the sneaker itself, but like adding the pony hair, add something to it. And I'm like, okay, cool, I could rock with that. And they also did like the metallic silver one, like that one was a solid one as well. But it's just like, I don't know, like if you're checking like the secondary market for like a lot of these like Sambas from Wales Bonner that's coming out, they're kind of losing its resale value. Like the old ones that come out before, like, you know, they down into like the 200s. I remember like 2 years ago or like a year ago, like they was easily touching $400-500. And like, maybe because they're releasing so many and people have so many different options they could go to, maybe that's bringing down the resale value as well. But it's just like, I can't help but think that are too many collabs with the same sneaker silhouette killing that silhouette. Like the New Balance 550, like, again, I was there when that shoe was like dropping and people was buying those by the boatload, and like, it was like the main sneaker that people was wearing. Like, I was there. But then I also was there when they did too many collabs and too many GRs, and it was just like, now when people look at them, they like spit on them. Like, I'm just saying, like, at what point does this Wales Bonner's hype with Adidas Sambas lose its value? And I'm not saying that to like prey on their downfall, because like they're doing great stuff. It's just that like, I see that trend way too often, especially in current sneaker culture, where it's like things are getting played out very, very quick. And then when there is that new thing that people are like latching onto, instead of like savoring that thing, they then like kick it into maximum overdrive and then burn it out. And then it's like, now I gotta find the next thing, because y'all keep like, in 1 year for one silhouette, there should not be like 50 collabs and like 50 GRs for it. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just giving my opinion. Again, this is just what I think, and I see it all the time. Like, so many different silhouettes get burnt out and people stop wearing them and they try to latch onto like, what's the next silhouette, and people have to dig into the archives to find that next big silhouette that's gonna drive their business. And I think if y'all stop doing so many shoes and really just hone in on doing like the right collabs, the right GRs, like that will take it further, rather than, you know, just dumping 50, 100 like I can't even get it out, but dumping like 100 or like, you know, 100, like, just stop doing so many. Just stop doing so many. And if you are gonna do so many, at least let the majority, the bulk of them, be meaningful. That's all I'm saying. But again, like, you can't really hate on the Samba too much, especially from Wales Bonner. Like, you can't hate on them too much, because like, it is a really popular sneaker. It's like, it can go with anything: pants, denim, shorts. Like, it can be like with everything in your closet. Like, you could wear it with anything. But it's just like, I'm worried, because like, I think it's gonna get to a point where it's just gonna be bad, and they're gonna keep releasing them because, you know, people look like they're still interested. But again, like, you check the secondary markets for a lot of these Wales Bonner's collabs, Adidas now, it's like they're kind of dropping in price. Like, the fact that I went on Grail and I found like a pair for like under $200 is crazy. It dropped under the retail price. Why? With box, unworn, and they're dropping on the retail. So I'm interested to see. Again, I don't want them to fail, because Wales Bonner and Adidas have had a strong run. I'm just like, y'all might need to switch it up now. I think it's kind of getting burnt. I think it's getting burnt, and I think y'all should find that next silhouette that can really bring y'all back in there. But I'm interested to hear what y'all think, so go ahead, comment below. How do you feel about the Wales Bonner's Adidas Samba collection? This go around, but also the past ones too, like if you wanna add that little input. But let's get into the next article. All right, so this article title reads, Chris, and again, I'm not gonna try to pronounce your last name, I don't wanna butcher it, transcends footwear with debut clothing label Academy. And let me just say this, bro, like, for him to already have Blackstock and Weber, and for him to have the plethora of collaborations he's already had, just with that, and then, you know, doing with Sperry's, Jown, and, you know, all these different like big name brands, and then to him now going into having his own clothing label, it's like, I think we're gonna witness somebody as small as like this company is, because I don't really know how many people he works with. I assume, because the way it looks to me and the way it's perceived to me, like he works by himself predominantly. The way that he's moving through the industry right now is crazy. He is trailblazing it, bro. And I think it's really dope to see him, not only, because he could have simply been satisfied with Blackstock and Weber, because that has his name by itself. Like, that name is solidified. If you know footwear and you know, like, you know, slip-ons, you know, like those type of shoes. I can't even get out. Again, my brain is somewhere else. I'm still in vacation mode. But like for him, it could have just simply been Blackstock and Weber, but I think him having so much knowledge in the fashion world, you know, going to an actual school and like learning about, you know, textile, fashion, the industry, and working with all these companies, gaining knowledge from them, I think we're gonna witness him exceed some of the people that are in, like, I would say that's on the playing field with him. I think he's gonna go past that because he is so well versed of it. A lot of these people who have clothing brands didn't necessarily study, you know, fabric, or they didn't study or go to school for it, and like, you know, really got dumped into like the real trenches of like learning about fashion. And that's like good or bad. I'm not saying like people who don't go to school for fashion can't have successful brands. A lot of people have. A lot of people have done it. I'm just saying, like, it's just different when somebody who's done that goes into it. So like, I think about like music and like people who study music and know, you know, they don't really put themselves in a box about learning one subset of music, and they like learn all music. It's like, you know, learning instruments, learning how to play them, learning how to, you know, do this, taking singing lessons, taking like breath control, all that. Like people who do that go further. And I think about like Tyler, the Creator, and why his music over time has changed so much is because like his love and like, you can tell he really cares about it. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Not like the whole school thing, but I think Chris actually cares about fashion and clothing and like the way things work within that field. And I think that he is going to excel in that for sure. So I'm excited to see what he does from this. There's a lot of pieces that I could just kind of see in the images that I know, like, ooh, those some heavy hitters. Like this jacket, heavy hitter. This shirt, heavy hitter. I will say personally, I'm not really a fan of, you know, big text and things of that nature. So like the Academy on the sweatshirt or like the Academy logo on the hat, but I get because that is how people establish their brand recognition. So I understand that's what you have to do. But I hope that's just not the brute force of like his clothing label. I hope it's not just like Blast Academy here, Blast here, Blast here, you know, it becomes monogram. And like, I hope it's like, it's really about the garment itself. And then, you know, every once, like just to build brand recognition, every once in a while he still puts it there. I think it's really dope though, because like, you know, it's taking a story, or it's taking his story and like putting it into the clothes, like going to school and like uniforms being like the main thing that he wore. And like, that's kind of what he's trying to gear towards with this line. I think it's dope. I think it's him again, putting his real passion into the work, and it's standing out because his story is not like somebody else's. Like, even though they may have went to the same school, like the way he perceived it was different. So I think that's why he's gonna take it a little bit further than a lot of people who are on that level with him. I think he's gonna take it a little bit further just because I think it's like authentically him, and I think he's gonna keep continuing pushing through that. And I think that's where you find people standing out from the rest of the crowd. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I think it's dope, and I think I'm gonna definitely watch it as well, just like how I watch Blackstock and Weber, just because like their peen loafers, crazy, bro. Their slip-ons, crazy. So I definitely wanna see what he can do with clothing, because again, I love clothing, so y'all know me, I'm a shopper for sure. But that is gonna wrap up the video, man. I'm sorry I could not do 5 articles this time. Again, I just got off a plane. I'm literally about to stop recording this now and edit this video so it can go live at 7 p.m. So what's up to everybody at 7 p.m. that's watching this right now? I was able to get it out. But without further ado, like I always do, I'll catch y'all in the next one.
But I love the way you work it. Hey, I love the way you work it for